Hello everybody, welcome to Sensible Fitness, and in this video we're going to look at foods you should not eat for fat loss. So, what foods should you not eat or drink for fat loss? Well, as you already know, fat loss is dependent on one thing and one thing only: being in a caloric deficit. I've discussed this in my video for calories and net calories. I've discussed this in my video on how to count your calories, as well as 5 simple tips for fat loss, which you can all check out right over there. So as long as you're in a caloric deficit, that is, you're burning more calories than you consume, you will lose fat and by extension weight. So you can eat anything you want, but as long as you're in a caloric deficit, you can lose fat. This video is about foods that are sold for weight loss. So you'll see a bunch of ads everywhere saying you have to eat this food for weight loss. If you don't eat this food, you cannot lose weight. The human body does not work. You have to eat these foods or else you will not lose fat. And I'm going to look at these foods and see which of these foods designed for weight loss don't work and why they don't work and what else you can do. Firstly, juices. Now, I'm sure you would have seen ads for kale juice. There are so many programs sold, like the juice diet, or juices that are meant to cleanse and clean and detoxify your body. Just on that, if you have a liver, you don't need to detoxify your body. If you don't have a liver, this shit isn't going to help you. Go to a doctor and get that checked, please. But on the topic of fat loss, juices not only are bad for fat loss, but they do hinder you as well. Now, if you follow these diets exactly as they give you, like you only drink the juices that they give you, you don't have any food in between at all, then yes, you probably might lose fat. Because these juices, or the amount of juices that you're recommended to drink every day, might amount to 1,000 or 1,200 calories at best. So that will put you in a massive caloric deficit, and yes, you will lose fat because of that. But if you're only drinking juices, you're going to be miserable throughout this process. Because you see, when you're in a caloric deficit, your body is not receiving the amount of energy it needs. So naturally, it will make you feel more and more hungry, so that you eat more and to give the body the energy that it needs. Now, if you're feeling hungry, having liquid calories is probably the worst thing you can do. Because when you take in liquid calories, you do get in the calories, which does diminish your caloric deficit, but you don't really solve your hunger, because liquid calories really aren't satiating. They don't make you feel full. So instead of having fruit juices and kale juice or celery juice, you'd be much better served just having those fruits and veggies instead. So instead of having mango juice, just have a mango. Instead of having celery juice, just have a celery. Not only are they more satiating for you, which means that you can stay in a caloric deficit and not feel hungry all the time, but they also have a lot of fiber, which juices don't have. The second thing is herbal teas and green teas. Now, this is a very, very popular weight loss product. I'm sure you've seen the ads on TV as well of celebrities drinking tea, and then that's they claim that that's how they stay thin and stuff like that. And I can make a whole video on how celebrities stay thin, and why when they sell something they are most likely bullshitting. But for this video, we'll just look at fat loss stuff. So when it comes to herbal teas, do they help you lose weight? Initially, yes. So herbal teas or green teas are diuretics, which means that they make you poop and pee more. So you will be losing a little bit more weight, but most of that is just water weight. So all of that you will eventually gain back if you drink water. And over the long term, this is not a sustainable weight loss. Your body can't afford to keep on losing water all the time, otherwise you'll die of dehydration. That's a very, very unhealthy way to lose weight. So this is a very, very short term, very limited, and most likely reversible option that is just not a very good option if you want to lose weight and actually keep the weight off as well. Negative calorie foods. Now, this is one that I wished was real as well. Now, I'm sure you've read about these foods that apparently take more energy to process these foods than these foods actually give you. And celery, again, is a very great example of this. That is being sold as a negative calorie food. And there's no such thing as a negative calorie food. Yes, some vegetables and fruits do give fewer calories than others. Celery, of course, being a great example of one, the amount of calories that you get from celery is actually very, very less. But they're not negative calories because the amount of energy that it takes to convert any foodstuff from its raw form to a usable form is about 30% at max. I've covered this in my calories net calories video, which you can watch right over there. Let's say you take 100 calories in celery. 30% of that is 30 calories. So you're still getting 70 calories of energy when you eat celery. You do not have anything called negative calorie foods. Those things don't exist at all. So most of these foodstuffs that are sort of sold or advertised as negative calorie foods are in actuality just foods that are super low in caloric value. Number four, the sugarless foods, or in extension, the sugar is bad crowd. Now, as I've discussed in quite a few previous videos, the most recent one, I think, in the video about processed foods, sugar is not inherently bad in and of itself. Sugar, of course, is very easily processed by the body, and of course, a lot of carbs have a lot of added sugar and a lot of processed sugar, which can increase your caloric surplus and can diminish your caloric deficit. That's where sugar can hurt your overall caloric balance, but sugar in and of itself isn't bad. And similarly, you could go on a keto diet, you could go on a no carb diet, whatever, but unless you are in a caloric deficit, cutting sugar out of your life is really not going to do much. Furthermore, carbs are actually important for you. Carbs are one of the primary sources of energy in your body. Your body mainly uses carbs as energy. So carbs and sugar, which is of course a carb, is very, very important for your body, and cutting it out won't immediately make you shed fat like nothing else. As long as you're in a caloric deficit, whether you're eating sugar or not, you will lose fat. And last but not least, metabolic boosters. Now, this could either be in the form of foods or this could be in the form of tablets that claim to boost your metabolism. Here's the thing, the body is not that simple. Your body is not a car on Need for Speed where you can just start adding boosters everywhere. Your body is very, very complex and you can't just start boosting things everywhere. Can you increase your metabolism? Yes. Your basal metabolic rate, which is what your metabolism is essentially the amount of energy your body spends just keeping you alive. So, for example, if you were to increase the amount of fat you have, there is more of you. So your body will have to expend more energy keeping you alive. For another example, if you were to increase the amount of muscles you have, you will also be increasing your metabolism and your BMR, your basal metabolic rate, if you increase the amount of muscles if you have, if you increase your lean muscle mass. So you can increase your metabolism through sustained effort. And I'm talking like over 6 months, over a year, maybe a lot more than that. Yes, you can slowly increase your metabolism, but you sure as hell cannot boost it. Especially you can't just have one plate of some food and just start burning 5,000 calories the next day onwards. That won't happen. Your body is not that simple. Be consistent in your diet, be in a caloric deficit, lift some weights, and over time you will naturally increase your basal metabolic rate. Thank you very much for watching. That was the video on what to not eat for fat loss, where I sort of look at foods that have been sold as fat loss foods and sort of break down why they're not and what you can do instead. If you like the video, like, share, and subscribe. Please do click the bell icon to be notified every time a new video drops. If you have any comments, doubts, questions, or topic ideas which you want me to convert into a full-fledged video, please do drop them down in the comments below. Or of course, you can DM me on any of my social media platforms. If you're interested in conversations about music, please do check out the Basic Travel podcast. If you're interested in gaming, please do check out the Indian Gamer. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.